Hey peeps, we are back. We're talking The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 14, Episode 12. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. So before we get into the show, I have a few updates. Check this out. Phaedra and Apollo's little boy, Dylan, aka Mr. President, has just started the 4th grade. And Apollo and Phaedra took him to school. Isn't he adorable? I mean, Phaedra has some beautiful kids. And it's nice to see her and Apollo there together. I think Apollo is married to someone else now, but it's really nice to see them together as a family. So, sticking with The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Sheree did come out and confirm that she is dating Martell Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville. And then we got a tweet from Carlos King that says, coming up on the new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville in September, spring, summer. And I've noticed that there's been a little action between Carlos and Andy, so I'm wondering if Carlos has gotten permission from Andy to bring Sheree to Huntsville. I wonder if this is all some sort of publicity stunt. Maybe they are dating, maybe they aren't. They are currently both single, so if they would like to date, they are two grown people. But Martell, being the cheater that he is, I want better for Sheree. Also, listen, Taylor Armstrong from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I guess she wrote a book about her time on The Housewives and about her marriage, you know, that tumultuous marriage that she had that ended very sadly. And I'm here that her sister-in-law was not happy with it.
Why don't we start right there? I mean, you hear what Russell's sister said.
Absolutely. I don't feel that his sister has much knowledge of what went on in our relationship. The last time I saw her, we had just taken her out of rehab for meth, and she had been in a meth addict for about 5 years, and we were married for about 6, so I'm not really sure that she had her finger on the pulse of what was going on.
She pretty much cleared that woman. Taylor knows how to clear a bitch. I'm just saying. Excuse my French. I get online and there's a tweet from Tamra Judge. Tamra says, not only am I returning to The Real Housewives of OC for season 17, but my girl at Taylor Armstrong is joining me along for the ride. Double the trouble is coming your way. I said, wait a minute now. Fly at the mouth, Taylor, and it's my opinion. Tamra, oh, this is fabulous. I am here for it.
Taylor Armstrong is returning to Bravo on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This makes her the first housewife to move from one city to another. In unrelated news, Jill Zarin is closing on new homes in Potomac, New Jersey, Beverly Hills, Orange County, Atlanta, Miami, Dubai, and Salt Lake City.
Now, Andy didn't have to do that. He did not have to do that to Jill. I mean, Andy and several other housewives have come out and said that Jill is super thirsty. She is very parched. Andy did not have to do that. Then, honey, listen, do you guys remember Don, Vicky's husband? Don posted out on social media, he said, hashtag Real Housewives of OC would rather take someone from another franchise 10 years ago than bring back Vicky. He put a meme from Lisa Barlow that says, I love that. I think Don is still a little bitter. He is still a little bitter and rubbing it in that Vicky is still trying to get on the show, and they went all the way back and pulled Taylor over. Taylor is the first housewife to ever skip franchises. Now, I do hear allegedly that Cynthia's trying to do that. She's trying to get over to Beverly Hills. We'll see what happens. Sheree is also out on Twitter talking about y'all better be ready when She by Sheree drops. Everybody better have their joggers. Listen, girl, I will be there for the joggers. Also, I seen that Tammy Roman, the Tammy Roman, who started out on The Real World, who then went on to Basketball Wives, she said on an interview with Carlos King that she tried to get on The Real Housewives twice, and they told her that she better go on somewhere. They said they didn't want her. However, she did say that she would absolutely love to join the Real Housewives of Potomac. Hey, listen, I would love to see her on the Real Housewives of Potomac. She also said that that famous scene with her and Evelyn on Basketball Wives, when she came to Evelyn's shop, Doce, remember she had that shoe shop? When she went in there and gave her that cease and desist, she said that was nothing but a blank sheet of paper. She said that that show really tried to direct, write, and produce, that it wasn't true reality. And she went in there and they ad-libbed an entire argument and fight over a blank sheet of paper. I thought that was hilarious, but it does go to prove that a lot of this reality is absolutely not reality. All right, now on to the show.
If it does not happen this time, She Bachelorette is going to have a funeral. With men, there will be a VPL. You know what it is?
Never heard of it.
A visual print line. Like
a visual print line.
A visual print line.
Now listen, I truly hope that this She by Sheree really does pan out. I hope that it works. I know that it will be a success. If she does like Candy told her, just put out a limited line and then use the money from that limited line to put back into the company, she will do great. Candy was 100% right when she told her, you have the biggest brand with no brand. She by Sheree is going to be a hit. When she went to that fabric store, I didn't know what VPL was either. I don't know anything about a visible print line, but I'm here for it. I am. You know, I do know that she asked her son if he would model for it. I hope he's not modeling them VPL line, because I would hate to see my son's print, if you know what I mean. But the looks on those ladies' faces was priceless. Candy throws a party for Ace. Ace was turning 6 years old. First of all, the birthday cake looked delicious. It was so good to see all the kids together, and Ace was so excited. He said, I'm so happy it's my birthday. His little voice was so precious. I enjoyed that so much. She set up a video game truck out front, which was a great idea. Kids today, they love video games. If you aren't careful, they could sit and play video games all day without even asking for a snack. And you have to keep an eye on these kids. We did find out that Candy's play closed down due to C-19, and she was really sad about it. And seeing her cry about it, that truly hurt my feelings. She explained how she was not born rich. She was brought up by a single black mom, and she says, you know, people think that she's handed everything, but she's not. She is a hardworking woman, and I think the problem for her wasn't just the fact that the play got shut down due to COVID. I think the part is not being able to be there for all of the people involved in the production, not having jobs for them, not being able to see these actors flourish. I think that's what really hurt her so deeply. And I felt that. I really did. I think that Candy is a special person, and there will be more plays in her future and so many other things. That woman is brilliant. She not only is a great singer, a great businesswoman, she's also an amazing writer. She is a talent. I really appreciate Candy. To me, she's the only one that acts 100% normal on the show. She seems to be the realest, in my opinion. So then we head over to La Archive. And did anybody notice that Louis Vuitton used swimsuit that Marlo had, she was renting that for $225 a day? No, ma'am. And I don't rent swimsuits. My mom always told me as a small child, you don't share underwear and swimsuits. You don't want to put your kitty where somebody else's is. I just don't like that. No, ma'am. Now, Marlo is talking to Sanya and Sheree about her sister's parenting of the boys. To me, Marlo is using these boys for a storyline. She brings it up way too much not to be using it as a storyline, and it's continual complaining. Now, Marlo's sister has 4 toddlers, and then she's got your 2 teenagers that you dropped off on her with moments notice. I think she needs a break. And I don't think she has the right to judge her sister or judge how her sister is doing with these boys. If you are so worried that she's being too lax on them, roll your fancy car over there and pick them up. I think she needs to stop bringing up her nephew's cleanliness and hygiene and all of that on national TV. You are criticizing them. You are talking down about them. You are doing too much. And they have friends that are going to watch this show. You are embarrassing the hell out of these kids and using them for a storyline, and it's not cute. Now, they're talking about the trip. Sanya, Miss Pick Me herself, is trying to make it seem as if Kenya ruined this trip. This trip was ruined by Marlo because Kenya paid Marlo dust. If Marlo had went on about her business and stopped being so bitter and jealous, the trip would have been fine, all except for Fatim and Drew. Fatim was doing too much. She's trying to get on the show, and that's not going to happen. And then Marlo in that stupid comment that she was upset with Candy now because she assumes that Candy has picked Kenya's side and what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Marlo, you are stuck on wrong and parked on stupid. Girl, quit playing with us. Okay, you are the one who is wrong in this equation every single time.
I really want this to be a couples trip. I want you to bring somebody.
She told us it was a couple's trip.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to be clear that the Jamaica trip is a couples trip because I felt like,
Girl, I'm tired of this. Bye, girl.
Girl, listen.
Sanya absolutely deserved to be hung up on. You are sitting next to never had a man and single as hell. And you did not go hard on them. You sat there with them and let them know that they could bring a girlfriend. They could bring anybody. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. But you called Kenya and tried to double down on it. And you didn't mention to her on the phone when you were trying to show off in front of Marlo and Sheree that she could bring a girlfriend. So that's why you got hung up on. I don't blame her for hanging up on you. I would have hung up on you too. And then later when they all met up over at Sanya's home, which was in BFE, Sanya apologizes to Kenya. When Kenya explained it to her, she said, you were being extremely sarcastic with me. And I don't appreciate that. Kenya is going through a bitter divorce. She is not dating. She is not ready to date. And it is not okay for you to say this is a couple's trip and just keep saying it over and over again without giving her the information that's required. You don't have to bring a boyfriend. You can bring any kind of friend. You should have led with that. Now, Marlo gets to this therapist and boy, oh boy, she shows up with minimal makeup on, ready to cry. I said, girl, please get you an acting coach. Get you a coach because this is not working. I do think that the therapist gave her some really good advice. I think that scheduling weekly family meetings, setting up boundaries, and making sure that there is real structure and consistency is absolutely needed for her and those children. And I also appreciate that she is going to bring the kids there so that they can have family therapy. The therapist also told her, make sure that these kids don't feel abandoned. With you dropping them off at your sister for 30 days, anybody would feel abandoned, especially a teenager. I'm telling you right now, if my son said, Mom, I'm not going to be bothered with you for 30 days, I would feel abandoned. And I'm grown. I'm just saying, cut the crap, Marlo. Fake tears and everything. So then Candy and Todd talked to Riley and Todd's daughter, Kayla, about them setting up a trust fund and what could possibly happen in the future if anything should happen to Todd or Candy.
I think you guys treat your kids' lifestyles very different. So personally, I'd be in a bit of a situation.
No, that's not.
Yes, I would.
I don't know if I trust you to make all the decisions
That's bad.
for me.
And Riley was here with me that you didn't trust that I would take care of her.
I think you would take care of her, but it's obvious that I'm a little bit more free with giving out the coins than you are. Let's just put it that way.
Now, the only thing I could think of was I remember a few seasons back when Candy was trying to give Kayla everything that she gives Riley. And Todd was not happy with it. I remember her giving Kayla a present, and it was a big wad of money. I think it was in the thousands, and Todd was very unhappy about that. I don't think it's right. I mean, Todd, his children with Candy and Riley, they all live in the lap of luxury, but he wants Kayla to work for every penny, every dime she gets. I understand that it's important that our kids learn how to appreciate money, but why should she have to struggle? There's nothing glorious about it. You know what I mean? If you have 2 kids with your wife and you guys are doing great, and then I have a stepsister who is really close to my age, and she's living in a beautiful penthouse apartment in New York, and I'm struggling, scrimping and saving to pay my way. I don't think it's fair. Do I think that it's commendable? Absolutely. Do I think she should be proud of herself? Hell yeah. But Todd, you are clearly benefiting from the marriage with Candy. Your daughter should benefit a little bit too. Bravo was shady as hell putting up the list of assets. Candy's list of assets are as long as she is tall. And Todd had 2 assets. Bravo editors, shady as hell. You know, I don't blame Riley for being nervous. I do believe that if Todd got all the money, that he would absolutely not supply the money to Riley the way Candy does. Todd is a little too tough on Kayla. It's not fair when you look at the rest of the big picture, the way everybody else in the family lives. And I'm not saying that he owes her anything, but the fact that she is your child as well, it just seems a little odd that she's expected to scrimp and save every single dime, pay her own rent, and live the struggle when the rest of the children don't have to and will never have to. I don't think anything is wrong with helping her out a little bit too. You know what? And I think that Candy is absolutely right to question if Todd really would treat Riley accordingly. We see how he treats Kayla. I did appreciate how supportive he was, how he was really sweet to her about opening up a second play, letting her know just because the first play didn't work out doesn't mean that the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth won't work. You can't give up. You have to keep going. So I did appreciate that. He is a very supportive husband. Am I being too hard on Todd? Let me know. Get down in the comments. So when the ladies get over to Sanya's, Drew makes it very clear to the show producers that Sanya does not live in Atlanta. She said, do you know that? And when Kenya gets there, Kenya said, it took so long to get here, I should have packed a small lunch. So Sanya clearly lives out at BFE. She had decided to have a get together at her house to go over the rules for the Jamaica trip. But at the same time, she found out that it was Sheree's birthday. So she decided to give a birthday party for Sheree. The ladies were not that thrilled. They referred to her party as Party City. She did have some Dollar Tree Party City type of decoration set up. There was twist top wine, but let me just say that wine that Drew picked up that was twist top, that was Stella. That's $12.99 a bottle. And you know what? Even though I don't always buy twist top, Stella is pretty good in my opinion. I'm just saying, I'm not a wine connoisseur. Don't judge me. Anyway, I think the ladies were on her back a little too much. Kenya complained about the dry Jamaican beef patties. Personally, I have never had dry beef patties, but Kenya called them dry tortillas. She pretty much told the caterer that, you know, the food could be better. They wanted a chef. They also wanted a bartender. It was a little bougie over the top. I felt a tiny bit bad for Sanya, but not too much, because Sanya needs to go. She needs to be a one and done.
Throwing tomatoes at this bitch because she whack.
They're funny.
I'm throwing them at you. You deserve them. All the tomatoes. This bitch is looking for my attention.
It's your birthday, girl. Stay cute.
Because we see she not getting it at home.
Drew has a sign on the side of the road. We'll fight for free. Just tell me where.
You always feel like you got to make things about you.
This woman has made it about me. Maybe you don't remember. I mean, as
you absolutely
are
never
getting
said that.
older, maybe you just don't remember.
Bitch, old and cold,
fine,
bitch.
honey.
Old and cold. Don't tell half the mother story, bitch old and cold. You better hope you look like this when you get my age.
Some of the ladies want to laser focus on Drew, but then when Drew unleashes on them, all of a sudden it's Drew. It's her. She's the one starting everything. Fatim is the one who brought out at the table that her husband was gay, or at least that the assistant said her husband was gay. Then she's the one who had her real estate guy run background checks on Drew and her husband. That was thirsty and doing too much. Drew has every right to not like Fatim. It's so weird to me that Sheree wants to continue every chance she gets to shade the hell out of Drew's marriage, which Drew's marriage really does suck. I mean, oh, it's bad. But at the same time, Sheree got ghosted by a convict, and it's really weird that you would keep on bringing up somebody's relationship when your situation is so fresh. And you had to have so many let's support Sheree moments. You know what I mean? Nobody has had a let's get together and support Drew with her whack ass husband. I'm just saying. Now, when Drew sung Happy Birthday, let me just tell you, that was good. That was one of the best happy birthdays that I have ever seen on the Housewives, including the Countess. Happy birthday. You know how she does that all the time? I mean, that was really good. Remember that time Dorinda was making fun of Luann singing happy birthday everywhere? That always brings me to tears. That was hilarious. Anyway, Drew sounded great. And do you know what I noticed? Candy asked Drew to sing happy birthday. Candy is always asking Drew to sing because Candy knows that Drew has music coming out soon, and she knows that Drew has talent. This is another example of Candy promoting and supporting another woman. Drew does have the chops. I like Drew. This season, Drew has really changed. Her season 2 has been a lot better than season 1. And I am here for Drew and Kenya's friendship. Kenya said Drew will fight for free. Okay, that woman. And you know what? If you think that you're about to get over on Drew, you are not. It might fly over her head for a few minutes or until somebody tells her that she was just shaded. But when she realizes it, she will come back quick. And Marlo is so petty. As soon as Kenya walked in there, she was rolling her eyes and looking sideways and saying something smart. I mean, Marlo, bitter. Being bitter will make you age. Girl, you better stop playing. And that comment she made about Sheree looking good, even though she was 60, Marlo knows good and damn well that Sheree is not 60. She said that on purpose, and I can't agree with Sheree. When Drew called her old, she said she was old and cold. And that is the truth. Sheree ages beautifully. She ages like wine. She really does. Because if you look at Sheree season 1 to Sheree season 14, that woman has blossomed like a butterfly. She looks amazing. Team Sheree when it comes to how fabulous she looks. Now, Sanya letting us know that smoking the wacky is not legal in Jamaica. Now listen, I've never been to Jamaica, but I heard that you could just smoke that stuff everywhere and eat the brownies and everything else. But I guess you doing it at your own risk. You don't go to jail. Now, honey, that's one thing that I never want to do because I watched Locked Up Abroad. And no, ma'am, I never want to be locked up abroad. As a matter of fact, I never want to be locked up here either. I am too cute, too petty, and too afraid of everything to go to jail. Anyway, you guys, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.